Good morning. I pray things are well with each of you as you have decided to join us this morning. Welcome to Serendipity Sunday session. I am Gregory Stanton, also known as SAR, your host and weekly facilitator for Serendipity Sunday. And again, I am so happy you've decided to join us. Today, we're unlocking the overlooked creative principle and called the playing the field of infinite possibilities. This lesson today, I hope you will come away with better understanding of the creative power within you to choose the outcomes you desire. You'll leave with both knowledge and an actionable tools this morning to begin to reshape your life. So I want to say hello to those of you who are joining on the YouTube channel this morning, or whatever time it is that you're joining this, perhaps in a playback. Go ahead and hit that like, share button if you are on YouTube this morning. Make sure you subscribe so that way you'll get notifications. For those of you who are in the Zoom room this morning, welcome. I hope you have a beverage to and to enjoy this message this morning. And in addition to that, perhaps a pad of paper so that way you can take notes or jot down some items that as we move into the green room later on, you can participate. So let's start by centering ourselves. So wherever you are right now, I ask that you just close your eyes, and I want you to envision an open field bathed in golden light. Yes, just close your eyes, take a big breath in, and I want you to begin to use your imagination. So simply close your eyes, envision an open field that's bathed in golden light, stretching infinitely in all directions. Each blade of grass represents a possibility waiting to be realized as you see the blades of grass gently blowing in the breeze, your feet there on some of the grass. Each blade of grass that you observe is actually representing a possibility waiting to be realized. So as you breathe deeply, I want you to affirm this morning, I am open to receiving the highest and best outcome from the infinite field of possibility. And so it is. You can open your eyes and let us begin this morning's teaching. I want you to first become familiar with some key concepts. And I think the best way to start is to anchor the teaching with some definitions. So the first definition that I want to share with you has to do with the word quantum field, or you may have heard it stated as the field. The quantum field is the invisible energy field where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Another way of looking at that is the place where you go when you close your eyes and you go into your imagination. You actually are stepping into the field. Okay. Inside of the field, every potential already exists. Every potential reality is waiting to be observed and chosen. So that's key. It's waiting to be observed and chosen. And we're going to talk about how you choose one of the possibilities. And there's a number of ways that we do this. So I use this exercise whenever I'm looking to create something. I go into the field. Now, you enter the field when you go into the silence. And when you go into the silence and you're just sitting there sometimes, you're not doing anything other than observing. And it's putting you in a position to begin to operate in the field. Everything happens from the invisible to the visible, from the silent to the sound world. So when I selected my current job, I started with identifying what jobs were out there that I believed to represent my highest good. Now, that's you could do that with anything. Playing the field is something that we hear people say. He's playing the field, she's playing the field. Often it's associated with the dating scene and is often frowned upon. But in reality, you should play the field before you make a decision. You should identify what really represents your highest and greatest good, what complements you. So playing the field helps you do that. So when I went to return to the work world, I did begin to look at what things do I enjoy doing. And ultimately, I came away with what things I enjoy doing, what types of jobs represent that. And I also knew I wanted to get back with the government. So that's how I landed my current position with the federal government. And so I began to first have to identify what it was. Then I began to hold that in a deliberate intention. So before that, I played the field by exploring what jobs are out there. Then when I found the perfect job, now I wanted to collapse that into a possibility. And that's the next thing we're going to talk about as far as a definition. But another example of someone who played the field, used the quantum field, you guys may be familiar with the comedian Jim Carrey. You read if you read his autobiography, he talks about how he visualized his success and he wrote himself a $10 million check. And ultimately, it came to fruition. He got a check for one of his movies for $10 million. Now, the moment he wrote the check, what he did was he collapsed the field. When you create a vision board, you are collapsing the field. But we go about all of this in such a happenstance manner and not understanding the principles behind it. And so we don't always carry it to fruition. So the second definition is collapsing the field or collapsing possibilities. When you focus your attention and emotions on a specific outcome, you collapse it into reality. It's like turning or tuning in to a radio station. You can be listening to rock and desire jazz, but you have to collapse or you have to tune into the jazz station in order to hear jazz at that moment. So when we focus our attention and our emotions on a specific outcome, what we are doing is we are collapsing it into reality. Now, that can be done intentionally and deliberately, or it can be done unintentionally by default. Let's look at that. So, in the story above that I shared previous to this definition, I talked about how I used the idea of playing the field, and I started with identifying all the things, options I had in front of me. And we do this often. But when it comes to collapsing the field, we're not really aware of how that works. When we look at the story of Job, it says that the thing that he feared most, because every morning he got up and he did, he had a certain ritual. He sacrificed pre-adventure. His children had overstepped boundaries and pretty much made God angry. And so he sacrificed in their behalf. And so what he was doing was he was collapsing the field of possibilities regarding his children. And so the thing he feared most. So when you're thinking a particular thought, frequently it becomes a possibility. And once you think about a particular outcome, it is the thing that most likely is going to show up in your life. That's how we collapse the field of possibilities. We do it when we worry. We do it when we're anxious. So we have to be mindful of what we're thinking about, because the things we're thinking about actually is the things you're thinking about unintentionally, or you're not aware you're thinking about it. That's why sometimes you have to stop and check in with, what am I feeling right now? And then where are these feelings coming from? And it's coming from a thought. And if you see the thought that you've been running is not consistent with what you want to realize, then you have to change that thought. There is a statement that we've covered in the past that says a thought held consistently or ran consistently, whether it's true or not, that it ultimately will collapse the field of possibilities into the reality that you're experiencing. What you are experiencing today in your life is a collapsed possibility. It's the thing that you have resonated most with, and you have brought it into fruition. So let's try something. If you're viewing this in playback, you can stop this at any time, but this is live session. I want you to just try this with me. I want you to think of a time when your focus, positive or negative, directly influence the outcome of a situation or something that has transpired in your life. Think about it. And I want you to kind of jot it down. And when we go back into the green room, perhaps you can share that and we can dialogue on that. And this is something you can do this week. I want you to think about times when your focus, whether it was positive or negative, and it may be easier to identify something you were anxious about and how it came into fruition. Okay. And keep this in your journal. Now, another definition. So we've covered the definition of collapsing possibilities. That is, when you focus your attention and emotions on a specific outcome, you're actually collapsing up the field of possibilities. We talked about, or I gave you the definition for the quantum field. The quantum field is the invisible energy field where all possibilities exist simultaneously. It holds every potential reality waiting to be observed and chosen. So not only observing it, but choosing it. And it's sometimes so much easier to choose the thing not desired versus the thing desired. So you have to be conscious of that. The third definition that I want to anchor today's teaching in is a limiting belief. You got to become familiar with your limiting beliefs. A limiting belief is a thought, a perception, a conviction that you hold about yourself, others, or even the world. This limiting belief or this belief restricts your ability to achieve your full potential or pursue your goals. These beliefs, they are often unconscious and are typically formed through past experiences, societal conditioning, and cultural influences. Limiting beliefs act as mental barriers that hold you back by creating self-imposed limitations, even when no external obstacles exist. Now, let's take some time right here and identify limiting beliefs. It's because it's important that you realize that when you have a limiting belief, the fact that it's a belief means it's in the program. And if it's in the program, it's part of your unconscious state. We spend 95% of our day running this unconscious program. Only 5% of our day is really we're present to and making choices. So by default, it's the programming that you need to be, it's the programming that's really running your life. You may say, I haven't been thinking negative thoughts or limiting beliefs. Not, you haven't been doing it consciously, but unconsciously. So let's look at some limiting beliefs that you may hold about yourself. You ever had the statement or made the statement, I'm not good enough to succeed, or I can't do that, or I'll try is a limiting belief. Or you can say, I don't deserve happiness or wealth. These are some of the things that people actually say to themselves. I have clients that when I engage them, they will during the course of the conversation, begin to unpack their limiting beliefs unknowingly. Another one could be, I'm too young, or I'm too old to start something new, or I don't have the resources. The belief is that resources, if they're not in my bank account, I can't do it. You can have limiting beliefs about others, and such as people can't be trusted. And if that you collapse that into your reality, the people you'll be engaging are not trustworthy people, or no one will support you or support your dreams. Everyone is out to take advantage of me. These are beliefs that we can hold about other people that ultimately have an influence on what we're really able to bring into fruition. Okay. You can have limiting beliefs about the world around you. You can say things like opportunities are scarce, listening to the news media, they talking about the markets, and you begin to incorporate that into your belief system. So it's a limiting belief. When you look at reality as to what is expressing in your life, it's a limiting because it's real. It's right now. It doesn't represent other possibilities. But when you take the reality and take it into the imagination or into the field, you can see the reality is behind it is many possibilities. So when you have limiting beliefs about the world. It could be things like success is only for the lucky or the privileged, or life is a constant struggle. So, one of the things I want you to do is think about limiting beliefs you may have about others, about the world, about yourself this week, and begin to jot them down. Now, how are our limiting beliefs formed? They formed one in childhood, messages that we receive from parents, teachers, or peers. They shape how we perceive ourselves and our own abilities. Being told you'll never be good at math. How many of you are still dealing with that today? This could lead to a lifelong belief that you can't handle numbers, or you're not a good speller, you're not a good speaker, you can't sing. So these things condition you and collapse into the field of I can't. Another thing that impacts your belief system or and forms limiting beliefs is traumatic experiences. Negative events can reinforce, and often do reinforce, our fears and self-doubt. When you talk to an individual who are expressing fears and self-doubt, it's probably tied to some experience from the past, and it's often traumatic, such as a failed business might result in the belief, I'm not capable of running a successful business. You did this when you were in your early 20s. The business didn't get off as you thought it would, and ultimately it did collapse. And now here you are in your 50s, have an opportunity to maybe start a new business. But because of old business and how it unfolded, you say to yourself, I'm not capable. I can't do that. I had this experience. So we have to be very careful with the file cabinets of our minds. That is our brain, what we hold in memory. Memory can help you or it can hinder you. So you really be careful there. Another thing that impacts our belief system is our societal influences, cultural norms, or societal pressures. They can instill limiting beliefs about gender, roles, success, or what's realistic. Example, women shouldn't take leadership roles. That's kind of fallen by the wayside today. Or artists can't make a good living, starving artists. So what societal statements have you heard? If you black, you get back. I mean, when you look at oftentimes when you're going to do something, transact business, you filter it through who you are, what your past experiences have been. And as people of African descent, this is one that really can limit your expressions of life. We have these limiting beliefs that are associated with the experience that we have had in the diaspora. So you have to address those things. And you don't want to, your limiting beliefs can be formulated by heavily defining yourself through the means of what you look like, what degrees you've had, what your past experiences, your accomplishments. Now, they can help you, but they can also hinder you. Okay. Why is it important that we address these limiting beliefs? Okay. First of all, limiting beliefs can sabotage your success. You can't even get into playing the field in the proper way because you have limiting beliefs that get in the way. They can prevent you from taking risk, seizing opportunities, or even seeing possibilities that exist in the field. When you try to go into your imagination, you're so um, accustomed to the reality of what is that you have a difficult time stepping into the reality of what could be, the field of possibilities, the field of potential. We also have to understand that limiting beliefs, not only can they sabotage our success, they can create negative patterns that reinforce behaviors which keep you from stuck in unfulfilling circumstances. Sometimes we stay in the familiar because it's familiar. We got to be willing to leave the land of familiarity. We got to be willing to leave negative patterns. Again, these negative patterns reinforce behaviors that keep us stuck. Also, yeah, you have to be aware of things that block your growth. When we talk about limiting beliefs, they can block your growth. They close your mind to new possibilities and they hinder personal or professional development. They block you. There's somewhere you sometimes you have to get away from the place of familiarity. You got to get away from the people that make up your family, your group, because they also will reinforce what you're able to do or not able to do. So, how do you overcome limiting beliefs? If you want to play the field of possibility, you got to be willing to overcome limiting beliefs. One, you got to identify your limiting beliefs. You want to be able to reflect on areas of your life where you feel stuck or unfulfilled. And when you're doing this, you want to take some time and examine the thoughts that underlie these feelings. Why do you feel this way? Don't just focus on the feeling. The feeling tells you that something is you're out of resonance with, or you're as Abraham Hicks would say, you're out of the vortex, and you want to get to the place where your feelings align with what you desire. So you want to reflect on the areas of your life where you feel stuck or unfulfilled, and I want you to examine the thoughts that underlie those feelings. Now, another thing you want to do is question the validity of your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this belief absolutely true? Or is it true from the perspective that it has happened? But is it a absolute truth that it will continue to happen and there's no other options? You want to ask yourself, what evidence supports or contradicts my currently held belief? Many times we have beliefs, particularly when it comes to religion, we have these beliefs that are not substantiated or cannot even be substantiated. It's just based on what someone has told us. Okay. And so you want to, if you got to become a spiritual scientist. Whatever you believe, it should be taken to an experiment. It should be able to be actually tried. And if you try it and it doesn't work, then it's not a true belief. It's not a belief that you should hold. So you want to have evidence that supports what you believe, and you want to look for evidence that supports or contradicts your belief. Another thing you want to do, you want to reframe your beliefs. Okay, reframing, restating it. You want to replace the limiting belief with an empowering belief. Example, I'm not good enough. You want to change it to I'm learning, growing, and capable of achieving my goals. You want to get away from I'm not. Okay. Anytime you say I'm not, you're limiting. For we know that we have been taught that, or we've been told that we can do all things through the Christ consciousness. So we have to become aware of the Christ consciousness. And the Christ consciousness says, I and source are one, and that I'm an individualized expression of the greater. And I can do on a micro level what the macro could do. And so you have to take on that mentality. But if you're living inside of a belief that you're only human, then you only have capacity to do human things. But when you take on the mindset and belief that I am a divine spirit being having a human expression called life, and you move through life as the divine being, mastering expressions. Now, that's important. So you got to learn how to reframe your beliefs. Now, you first going to identify your belief, question the validity of your belief. Then you want to reframe your belief, and now you want to take action. Okay, we talk about transformation is not about just gathering information, but it's taking the information gathered to application. So you want to take action. You want to challenge the beliefs by taking small steps towards your goals, proving to yourself that the belief is false or true. You got to do the work. Inside of most traditional religions, the belief that has been established has never been taken to the point of, let me try this out and see if it works. I know many people who continue to do the same things because they was given a formula, but the formula is not working, but the formula is part of their belief. And whenever they have a situation, they resort to that formula and get the same outcomes. You have to understand, inside of what we call New Thought, Ernest Holmes had the concept of being open at the top. That is, that you are not sealed at the top. You don't think you know all there is to know, but you're open to experiencing. When we look at the unity, they talk about the door of possibility. Know that there's more beyond the door than what's inside the room. And we have to be always open to looking at what we believe, expanding it, because you may know a part truth and you need to expand it. So you want to take action by challenging your beliefs. And then if necessary, the fifth step here is you want to seek support. You want to work with someone, maybe a life coach or a therapist or a mentor, to help you uncover and address deeply rooted beliefs. Now, once you identify a belief that's been held for some time, it is not always easy to let it go. You're going to deal with what's known as cognitive dissonance, because this has been a very part of who you are. It's like severing a limb. You're going to have to deal with it no longer is working. But for a long time, it's going to be a ghost belief. So you got to always be conscious of what you believe. Now, here's an affirmation to overcome limiting beliefs. This affirmation, it states, I release the beliefs that no longer serve me and embrace the infinite possibilities available to me now. So let's do that together. Let's affirm that together. I'll state it one more time, and then we're going to affirm it together twice. I release the beliefs that no longer serve me and embrace the infinite possibilities available to me now. Let's do it together. I release the beliefs that no longer serve me and embrace the infinite possibilities available to me now. One more time. I release the beliefs that no longer serve me and embrace the infinite possibilities available to me now. And so it is. Take something like that. You can put it on a 5x7 card. You can keep it in your purse, in your pocket. And from time to time, you just whip them out and you affirm this. By addressing your limiting beliefs, what you do is you open the door to greater confidence, creativity, and you can step into the field of other possibilities. Now, this week I want you to take this to application. There's a few exercises that I want to introduce you to right here that you can take into this week application. The first exercise is what you're familiar with called feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feeling of the wish fulfilled, and you who are familiar know that this is part of Neville Goddard's teaching. Example, here's what you would do. You will close your eyes, and I want you to imagine your desired outcome, whatever it is, as if it's already fulfilled. And while you're doing this, I want you to be conscious of what does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? And spend a moment in gratitude, feeling as though it's already happened, that it's already come to pass. Now, when you're doing this, what you're doing is you're collapsing the field of possibility. You're not all over the place. You're really honing in on the thing desired being fulfilled. Now, I like to tell people to anchor this exercise by just sitting silently, looking around you, experiencing in the natural with your eyes open. What are you hearing? What are you hearing behind what you're hearing? What are you seeing? What is obvious and what's not so obvious? Like you may sit there in your home and you see the TV, you see the television stand, you see the pictures that are there. But now you see not only are they there, but you see the dust that is accumulated. So now you're looking deeper. So with the exercise of anchoring yourself, you're looking and you see that the more I view, the more I see. Now, then I want you to take that into the closing your eyes and imagining your desired outcome. And the more you look at your desired outcome, listen to what you will be hearing. What would you be experiencing? This is the feeling of the wish fulfilled exercise. Another thing I want you to do this week is I want you to reflect on what emotions or sensations this particular exercise brings up for you. Did you feel some resistance or did you feel ease? Even if you're making an affirmation, I want you to ask yourself, am I feeling resistance to this affirmation or am I feeling an ease? Is there attunement, alignment? Many people have these oftentimes we have affirmations that we make, but we know that we don't really feel it. And we think that the more I repeat this affirmation, that it's going to change my feelings. No, what you got to do is address, why am I having a hard time aligning with this affirmation? Okay. You may be in your head. You may have a limiting belief. Okay. So you want to begin to slow it down, pump the brakes. Application is key this week. Here's another exercise that I want you to get into this week. So if you listen back to this, you're going to hear these exercises. But I'm also, for those of you who are in my mailing list, when I send out the video, I will also send the exercise in a document so you can have them. So the second exercise that's going to deal with this week is called reframing limiting beliefs. What you're going to do is you're going to write down the limiting beliefs that you have identified. Then you're going to reframe them into empowering statements. Here's an example. I am not capable of success. It becomes, I am fully equipped to succeed beyond measure. Okay, you may say, I'm a loser. Then you will restate it to, I am a winner. I win at all costs. So, how does your new belief feel compared to your old one? Can you see how this shift opens up new possibilities? This is something I want you to really be cognizant of, be mindful of. The belief that's being shifted, how it feels compared to the old ones. You can write down an old belief and you can write down a new belief. And then you can ask yourself, how do I feel in this old belief? How do I feel in this new belief? Okay. You can ask yourself, you can muscle test your belief. You may say, I believe that I'm fearfully made, I'm wonderfully and fearfully made. And you can muscle test it. You can have somebody, you can look it up, look and go to YouTube and type in muscle testing. And if there's an exercise you can do with the assistance of someone, and whether or not you can hold your arm perpendicular to the floor, tells you how strong that belief is. If somebody can just gently push your arm down, that tells you that that belief is not established. So you can find out which beliefs are established just by muscle testing. So you can find a partner and go through this with you. So I want you to look that up. I'm going to make a note to give you some links about muscle testing, because your energy does not lie. It tells you where you are, tells you what you're really capable of, tells you, it gives you your benchmark. Okay. So you want to reframe your beliefs this week. Now, there are some advanced techniques that we can get into that has to do with collapsing the field. Like, example, someone who is stuck in a job that they dislike, but fears leaving because of financial insecurity or uncertainty. How could they play the field and use today's principles to manifest a new opportunity? Okay, so this is something that we want to know, to become familiar with how we can use these kind of case studies to, and we're going to talk about this a little more in the future, of actual case studies of individuals who have taken on the work. Matter of fact, you're the case study this week. When you begin to do this, you're going to be able to see what works and what's not working, identify techniques that work for you. What worked for another person may not work for you. I don't want you to think, here's the ABCs or here's the 1, 2, 3s. I want you to identify what works for you. So, what steps should you take to align with the reality you desire this week? That's what I want you to, I want you to listen to this again. I want you to ask yourself, what steps do I need to take? Now, let's move into a guided meditation to deepen our connection with the quantum field before we wrap up this morning. So right where you are, you should be in a safe space. If you're driving your vehicle or doing something that requires your attention, you can just listen in. But if you are in a safe space, I really want you to participate in this guided meditation, a brief meditation I'm going to take you through. But if you are listening to this, you can stay inside of this meditation as long as you like if you're listening to it in the playback. So right where you are, again, close your eyes. Take a breath in and release the breath. Now, I want you to picture yourself again in that golden field of possibilities we started in. In front of you is a glowing doorway. This doorway represents your desired reality. Walk towards it in your mind's eye. I want you to feel the radiant light that comes through the doorway the closer you get to it. I want you to feel the lightness, the releasing. I want you to feel the joy, the gratitude as you step through this door. It's like the light that's at the end of the tunnel. We talk about it often, but we never go towards it. So as you walk through this door, embracing your fulfilled desire. Now, as you stand on the other side of that doorway in this new reality, I want you to affirm silently, I am worthy of all good things, and I joyfully welcome them into my life. I am worthy of all the good things, and I joyfully welcome them into my life. And so it is. Simply open your eyes. So before we close, let's create a simple action plan for the week ahead. 1, I want you to identify one specific desire to focus on this week. It could be a relationship desire. It could be an employment desire. It could be financial desire. I want you to write one action step that aligns with this desire. I'll give you an example. If the desire is financial abundance, the step might be budgeting, sowing a seed, or starting a side hustle. See how it aligns with it? You have the a right action that supports your desire. Thirdly, I want you to choose a daily affirmation or visualization practice to support the process. If you need help with creating an affirmation, if you're listening to me, just simply shoot me the the desired focus of the week, and I can shoot you one or two affirmations that you can hold. But first, I want you to try to do it on your own. Now, what is one action you're committed to taking this week to play the field of infinite possibilities, to collapse a desired state and bring it into fruition? Okay. What is one action you're committed to taking this week to play the field of possibility? Now, let's close with an affirming prayer. So close your eyes and just affirm with me right here. Infinite Spirit, we thank you. We thank you for the limitless possibilities available to each of us, the ability to collapse the field. We affirm that as we align our focus, thoughts, and emotions with the good we desire, the universe lovingly responds. Today, we release fear and we step boldly into the field of infinite possibility. We trust that every step we take is divinely guided, and so it is. And so it is. All right. I want to thank you for joining me today. I want you to remember life is a field of infinite possibilities. And by focusing on what you desire and aligning your energy with it, taking the right actions, you can create a reality beyond your wildest dream. So I'm going to see many of you next Sunday. So here's a call to action. If you desire coaching around this topic, you can visit my website, www.solutionsforliving.com. You can see it there on the screen, and you can schedule a session with me. If you have a question concerning anything that we've covered today, you could text it to me via the ministry number 708. And I appreciate that because that allows me not only to respond to you, but I will create a frequently asked questions list that goes along with this teaching. So let us prepare to go into the green room. But before we do, here are a few announcements I want to cover. First of all, if you desire to support the ministry, you can do it by way of Zelle or Cash App, and you can use the number 708-368-1076. If someone who's listening will type that right in, you can type Zelle/Cash App and type in 708-368-1076. Make sure you get that right. 708-368-1076. Or you can go to the website, Oasis-Everywhere. If you go there, what you can do is you can actually find the platform that fits your the way you want to transmute what you have into the ministry. I've posted that in the Zoom, the link there. Or if you want to go to the link, you can do that. Thank you, Cheryl, for posting that. So another thing I would like to encourage you to do is, first of all, for those of you who support the ministry, you don't support because you are aware of a need or that there's an expression of greed, but you support the ministry because you find that this is a space, part of your spiritual community, where you come and you get value added and you are feeling as though this is a worthwhile field to sow into. And I appreciate that. So another thing, I want to extend the invitation for you to join me Monday through Friday for morning meditation. If you go to the website, if you go out to the website, which is Solutions for Living, I'll put that in the blog here. If you go to this website, it allows you to, here you go, I put that there. The website is there for those of you who want to visit. Through that website, you can find our daily blog. My daily blog usually support the morning meditation. You want to know how to get into the morning meditation, click on that link, and you can go right there and you can find out the phone number to call in. So I ask you to consider joining us for morning meditation. Also, this week, we will be kicking off Transformation Tuesday. Transformation Tuesday this week and next week, we're dealing specifically with a topic that I believe that all of you could benefit from being part of. So I want to, again, encourage you to consider joining us this Tuesday. Let me see if I can give you a little bit more information about that. So this Transformational Tuesday seminar is entitled Beyond Attraction. We're going to be exploring mastering alignment versus alignment for effortless manifestation. We're going to discover the power of alignment, and you're going to unlock your ability to create the life you truly desire with ease and confidence. So I want you to join me for this 2-day transformative mini mastery course. It's going to take place on Tuesday of this week and Tuesday of the following week. And I believe that you're really going to enjoy the teachings. You're going to come away with understanding the law of attraction. You're going to understand and learn how your current experiences reflect your vibrational alignment and how to use contrast to clarify your desires. You're going to master the art of alignment. So we're going to focus on attraction and alignment. I know many people know about the law of attraction, but they're not familiar with the art of alignment. We're going to learn how to integrate attraction and alignment. You're going to combine both of these tools that are introduced to us by Abraham Hicks and Neville Goddard. We're going to create a manifestation practice that transforms your life. So again, you want to go to their website, Solutions for Living, and you want to register today. Now, there's two things you want to do. You want to register for the Transformation Tuesdays, okay? And once you do that through the Zoom link, there's another link there that you will click on that you will get the supportive material that will complement the training. So you got to do both. Got to do both. Got to pay attention. You have to do both. Now, that's all I have this morning. Let's see where we are as we prepare ourselves to close out. If you've been with us this morning and this has been a blessing to you, you can stick around and you can share. If you got what you need and you're going to take off this morning, feel free to do that. You guys have a wonderful day.